With regards to product sampling, it is essential. Definitely never sort of get a manufactured product in bulk if you haven't initially had your sample, at least a pre-production sample, but often it's good to get a sample during the initial stages of the production also. And again, this is where I mentioned don't be afraid to ask. The suppliers, they will want a long-term business with you, so they'll usually be happy to take videos and give pictures of the sampling process and also a sample of the actual first batch if you ask them. Now, with regards to the paying for the sample, there's different ways of paying for the samples, and usually companies will accept PayPal, and you can pay with a credit card, escrow. There's different ways of making payments for the samples. Obviously, it's a smaller amount, so the suppliers will be a bit more flexible than they would if it is the large mass production. So we'll go into payment options that you can have for both the sampling and also the mass production in the course itself. But the reason to obtain the samples is because it gives you an opportunity to experience the actual look and feel of the product itself. You can actually feel it, you can test it, you can do your own quality testing when you have the sample, and it's good to get samples from different manufacturers also so that you can compare them. And also you can sell them if you want to gauge your customer's response and see if a product will sell. You can ask for some samples initially just to gauge your customer's response from it. So the main thing as well is that you can observe your supplier's responsiveness and their professionalism, the skill, the speed that they have in producing your samples, and that could be a good gauge how they're going to work with you with your mass production. Also, again, if you do get a sample, product improvements, things might get flagged that you think, this part needs to change. This is something that can be improved. So the sampling, it's essential, and it's great getting the samples when you receive them and you can see your product and you can actually touch it and try it out. It's a great stage of the process itself, and it can lead to some great ideas for the development of the product too. So revising, agreeing and paying, when to pay for your sample. Again, I said we'll go into that. Just a few things I'd like to mention is that the sample cost can be deductible. Usually it is deductible. If you move ahead with the mass production, then the samples that you initially purchased, usually maybe a higher amount, but they can be deductible from your mass product. So be aware of that and don't be afraid to ask. They will accept multiple payment platforms, and sometimes they will provide them for free. There's many manufacturers, if you shop around, you will find that they will give it for free, but you will have to pay for the post and packaging. The timescales can depend on the customization that you need to do. Obviously, if it's an ODM product and it's already pretty much there, they might have samples that they can send you straight away. But this is something that you need to take into account when you're calculating your timescale. Make sure you allow time for resampling. You might decide when you receive the sample you want some things slightly changed, and so this is going to take time for them to maybe remake the mold and to make the new sample for you. So do allow that in your time scaling. But we have, and you'll see on the left there, we've actually got the contracts that you'll need, the sample agreement template, the contract. Again, it's the essentials. You can add to it and you can customize it yourself. You can download it and then make any changes that you need to, and it shows the revisions of any samples that are made too. So it keeps everything very systematic. It's good for you so that you can see what's happening, what's been changed, which revision happened when, and it's great for the supplier also because it gives them a step-by-step of anything that you need to amend or alter.